Right, so hello and welcome back to Books and Things, and welcome to another video. And today I'm going to be talking about some recent Booktube highlights. So this is a format I used to do back on my channel many years ago, and I stopped doing it for a long time, but I thought it would be nice to bring it back, especially because I feel like I have got a bit more on top of my Booktube watching this year. I feel like I'm watching more current videos rather than videos that people put up 2 months ago, and I've subscribed to a lot of new people lately, and I've just been having a really lovely time watching a lot of Booktube so far this year. So I thought I would bring back my kind of recent Booktube favourites, recent Booktube highlights video. So I'm going to try and do one of these videos every few months, and in these videos I'm basically going to be talking about like a few booktubers who I've been really enjoying recently, maybe some new channels I've discovered, and some specific videos I have really enjoyed recently. I've been planning this video for like a few weeks, and then I started like overthinking about whether or not I was missing out any key videos, or whether there was like something really amazing and exciting in my watch later playlist that I wouldn't get to, and I was, you know, worrying about like missing anyone out whose channel I really love. And then I realised that I was very much overthinking it, because I'm going to do one of these videos every few months. I will probably miss things that I have loved and forget about things that I've loved because I don't like make a note every time I watch a YouTube video. And I did look back through my YouTube watch history, but some Booktube videos were rather buried amongst like 20 Taylor Swift songs, so you know. Anyway, I watch a lot of Booktube, I love Booktube. Here are some things I have been really enjoying on Booktube lately. So I'll start off with a few channels that I have discovered recently. I think some of these I have been watching for like 6 months, but you know, recently in the grand scheme of things. One Booktuber who I wanted to mention, whose channel I've been really enjoying, is Cam's Campbell Reads. He has a really lovely, like, calm, relaxing channel. He reads quite a lot of classics, which obviously I really enjoy, and he's currently doing a read-along of Crime and Punishment. He also knows quite a lot about translation. I think he has worked as a translator previously, and he was talking quite a lot about like various translations of Crime and Punishment, which I found really interesting. So would definitely recommend his channel. I've been really enjoying it so far. Another Booktuber I've been enjoying is Nikel's Nook. Nikel started Booktube a few months ago, but her channel's growing quite quickly, so maybe lots of you know her already, but I've been really enjoying her channel. Her videos are very casual and chatty and just really relaxing to watch. She reads sort of literary fiction, romance, and various other bits and pieces, and I just have been really enjoying her videos. Then two channels I've discovered really recently. One is Chloe from Recovering Book Snob, which is a channel name I just really enjoy, and she is kind of getting back into reading after like having been a bit of a book snob when she was younger and not reading very much and being very picky about what she read, and she kind of is talking about her reading journey, getting back into reading and trying to like shift lots of assumptions she had about certain kinds of books from when she was younger, which I think is quite an interesting thing to kind of talk about, and I've just been really enjoying her videos so far. Then another Booktuber I've been enjoying is LT Chanda. Again, I'll link her channel down below. I think she's been on Booktube maybe about 6 months, and her videos are just sort of really nice and chatty, and I've been really enjoying them. So I would definitely recommend all of those 4 Booktubers who I've discovered relatively recently. And then I also wanted to mention 2 Booktubers who are not new to me, but have recently like returned to Booktube after being away for a little while. One of them is Andrea from Infinite Text, who I've been watching for years and years. I really love her videos, and she took a bit of a break, but she's just come back to Booktube, and I've seen a few of her videos lately, and it's just been lovely to have her back in my subscription feed. I really love her videos, so I definitely recommend her channel if you're not already subscribed. And I also wanted to mention that Lucy the Reader has come back to Booktube recently and put up a video which I really enjoyed. I really love Lucy's channel. She loves classics and lots of other things, and she also talks about writing quite a lot, which I always enjoy. I imagine that if you watch my channel, you might well watch Lucy's videos too, but if you don't, I highly recommend her channel, and it's nice to see her back on Booktube. Then moving away from channels more generally to videos, one thing I have really enjoyed in the last couple of months on Booktube is seeing lots of people do the Booktube journey tag. This is an original tag that I created, I guess 6 weeks to 2 months ago. I don't really remember when it was, and quite a few people have done it, which has been really lovely. I have made a playlist of I think everyone who's done the Booktube journey tag so far, so I'll leave that down below if anyone's interested, but I've really enjoyed hearing people talk about their journeys on Booktube, and so I've been really enjoying watching people's Booktube journey tags lately. That's definitely been a real highlight for me, and I was just really pleased with the response to the tag, so that's been very lovely too. Another thing I've been really enjoying on Booktube over the last few months is watching people's women's prize content. A lot of Booktubers that I follow are reading along with the women's prize. I'm not. I think I've read one book from the long list. The Maiden by Kate Foster, which I thought was great, but that is the extent of my Women's Prize reading. But I've been really enjoying watching other people's videos about the long list, kind of dissecting the long list. I've just been really enjoying that on Booktube lately. And there are 4 Booktubers especially whose Women's Prize content has just been fantastic this year. So I've been really enjoying watching videos about the Women's Prize from Keir the Scrivener, from Scott from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, and from Camilla from Hasty Books. I will link down below either if they have a Women's Prize playlist, I'll link that, or if they have like the most recent review video they did for Women's Prize books, I'll link that down below. And then kind of related to the Women's Prize, but not necessarily to the Women's Prize this year, there were 2 videos I really enjoyed about like an ultimate Women's Prize long list of like favourite books from throughout the Women's Prize history, and Jennifer Loves Books made one of these, and so did Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, so I'll link them down below too. And I made my own like one for the Walter Scott Prize, which I really enjoyed doing, so I'm very glad that those videos existed because I thought they were really fun, and I really enjoyed kind of doing the same for my own favourite literary prize. One thing I really enjoy watching on Booktube is videos about classics, and there are a few great videos about classics made over the last few months that I wanted to mention. One is a video from Nicole from A Day of Small Things about Persephone Books, the publisher, where she kind of basically does a publisher spotlight talking about Persephone Books as a publisher, what she's read from them, the history and that kind of thing, and I just really enjoyed that video. Persephone Books are a publisher of kind of out of print early to mid 20th century literature, and they're a great publisher, and I really enjoyed Nicole's spotlight on them, so I'll link that video down below. And another great video about classics from the last few months came from Claudia from the Spinster's Library, which was a video of recommendations of classic books for readers who like YA, and I just thought that was a great video, and I really agreed with a lot of her recommendations. So another great video for you to go and watch if you haven't already. I always love the classics content from Elizabeth at A Literary Princess, and she did 2 videos in the last 2 months that I wanted to mention. She's been doing a series lately on kind of what she read during her PhD in English literature, and I really enjoyed her videos on the Victorian woman novelists that she read for her PhD. And another video from her I really enjoyed was her video on George Eliot's Middlemarch. Again, this is a kind of part of an ongoing series she has on her channel where she's been reading through the works of George Eliot, and I really enjoyed her video on Middlemarch and kind of some of the insights she had into Middlemarch and her thoughts and feelings about it. I am not a massive George Eliot fan, but I do really enjoy watching other people talk about George Eliot. I don't think Elizabeth is necessarily like the hugest George Eliot fan either. I think she also has like a slightly love-hate relationship with her. I mean, I just have a hate relationship with her, don't I? But that's not really true. I did love Daniel Deronda. I can respect Middlemarch, but George Eliot's not really for me. But anyway, I really enjoyed Elizabeth's video on George Eliot's Middlemarch, and I really recommend watching that. And then recently, Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading finished The Barsetshire Chronicles by Anthony Trollope, which is a wonderful 6-book series of interconnected novels and one of my favourite works of literature of all time. And Kelly did a wonderful review talking about her reading experiences of The Barsetshire Chronicles and kind of her thoughts and feelings on the series as a whole, which I just really loved. So I'll leave that linked down below. I've been really enjoying watching Kelly's progress with The Barsetshire Chronicles over the last few years, so it's exciting that she's finally finished, and I'm sure, you know, there is a lot more Anthony Trollope out there for her to discover. He wrote 47 books, but yeah, The Barsetshire Chronicles are amazing. I definitely recommend going and watching that review. And then another individual book review of a classic, this time a modern classic that I wanted to mention, is a review of The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin, done by Willow Talks Books. I really love Willow's channel. I think she's a fantastic booktuber, and I really love her individual book reviews. I think they're fantastic, and I really enjoyed her video about The Left Hand of Darkness, so I'll link that down below. I read The Left Hand of Darkness years ago, and Willow's video really made me want to go and reread it. While we're on individual book reviews, but skipping forwards to modern literature, I wanted to mention a review from Nena Reads of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which is a book that I have been meaning to read for ages, and I've now got out the library and I'm meaning to read, and partly because of the review from Nena Reads, which I just thought was fantastic and really encouraged me to pick this book up. So I'll leave that review down below. And another individual book review I really enjoyed was one from Dan, Uni and Books of The New Life by Tom Crew, which is a wonderful novel that I highly recommend, and I really enjoyed his review video. Another video I really enjoyed recently was a video from Page Turners with Katja, which was all about why we love unreliable narrators. Personally, I love unreliable narrators. That's something I really enjoy in literature. So I really enjoyed her kind of dissecting why we like unreliable narrators, what kind of genres you might find them in, and giving some recommendations for novels with unreliable narrators. I also wanted to mention a couple of videos from Olivia Savannah from Olivia's Catastrophe, who's one of my favourite booktubers. I really, really enjoy her channel. She made a really great video probably 2 months ago now, called How to Read More and Why You Really Shouldn't, which I thought was a really great video, giving like lots of ways that you can read more, but also talking about the importance of like finding your own balance on how much you want to read and not overdoing it. And then earlier this morning, just while I was doing my like final planning for this video, I watched another video of hers with her like top 10 poetry recommendations, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoy reading poetry. It's not something I read masses of, but I enjoy it when I do. And it's always nice to see more booktubers talking about poetry, because I feel like it doesn't get spoken about as much on Booktube. So I really enjoyed that video, and that's another one I'd recommend. Another thing I've really enjoyed on Booktube over the last couple of months is that Ben Reads Good has started a new series of like this month in books, where he talks about like book news, publishing news, prize news, like what's going on in the book world over the last month, which I find both like really, really fun and interesting, but also like very useful and informative. I've just been really enjoying those videos, and I definitely recommend them. Speaking of informative and useful videos, I also wanted to mention a video from Jack at Spread Book Joy, which was a guide to social reading, talking about like what buddy reading is, what group reads are, what online book clubs are, which I really enjoyed as someone who knows about those things, but I also think must be very, very useful if you're kind of newer to Booktube and you hear people using these terms and having these reading experiences, but you don't necessarily like know what they mean and what the differences between them are. So I really recommend that video. I thought it was really fun. Then I also wanted to mention 2 videos from Eleanor Nick Barter. One of these is a very recent video, and one of these is an older video that is related to the newer video. So I think 2 years ago, she made a video about aphantasia and how aphantasia affects her reading experience. And then more recently, she's done a video with kind of tips to get into reading if you have aphantasia or dyslexia. So aphantasia, if you don't know, is kind of the like inability to visualize things in your mind. So someone with aphantasia has no visual memory, no visual imagination. And I don't have aphantasia, but I think I'm like towards the aphantasia end of the spectrum, in that like I definitely do have a visual memory, though it's very hazy, but I don't really have a visual imagination. Like when I read a book, I'm not imagining things visually in any way, really. I'm just reading the words and enjoying the story. So I just found her 2 videos on aphantasia really, really interesting. And I feel like whether you're someone who has a very strong visual imagination or none at all, I feel like those videos will just be really interesting. Aside from anything else, it's really interesting to think about like how different people's minds work and how different people's minds lead them to approach reading in a different way. So I really recommend those 2 videos. I thought they were fascinating. And then finally, one last video before I wrap up this little recent Booktube favourites. I wanted to mention a video from Kirsten from Reading Nymph, which was about her favourite books ever, with lots of glorious Gothic recommendations. If you're someone who enjoys Gothic literature, whether that is dark academia, Gothic classics, or kind of Gothic fantasy stuff, then I think you'll really enjoy Kirsten's channel as a whole, and you'll definitely enjoy that video. So there we have it. That's been a whistle-stop tour, I guess, of a lot of the Booktube I've been enjoying lately. I hope this video wasn't too long. I feel like this is a format that shouldn't be too long, but hopefully I'll try and do one of these videos every few months, just talking about some Booktube I've been really enjoying. If you don't watch these people, then you should go and check out their channels. They're all wonderful. They all put up really interesting videos. And yeah, let me know down in the comments any Booktubers you've been really enjoying lately, any videos that have been really stand out for you. And that's all for now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back very soon with another bookish video.